fans, Beyond Wrestling. This is Denver, Colorado, the man, not the place. How about this? The final match from the all-killer taping here at the CZW Academy, right across the street from the old ECW arena. While we see Eric Corvis standing across the ring from TJ Marconi, I'm sure Marconi would love nothing more than to be in the ring one-on-one to finally get his hands on Chris Dickinson, who has been a thorn in his side ever since Dickinson made his in-ring return to Beyond Wrestling at the All Aboard live event. It was going to be Marconi versus Darius Carter to settle the score in a last man standing match, and Dickinson insisted on calling that match. The precedent had been set. He did call the tag team match at the Burst the Bubble live event right down the middle. But as soon as the match between Marconi and Carter was completed, Chris Dickinson took a kendo stick and shredded it over his former best friend's head in TJ Marconi. And since then, we've seen Chris Dickinson in tag team action alongside Eric Corvis. First match that Marconi was thrown into against his will, teaming with his former partner in the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, Darius Carter, against Chris Dickinson and Eric Corvis. And then we saw that combination, Chris Dickinson and Eric Corvis, against the KOA at National Pro Wrestling Day. So Marconi certainly with some unsettled differences with Eric Corvis, but this is not the first time that these two competitors have been alone in the ring. I believe their first one-on-one match dates all the way back to the Gospel of the Boards taping, Beyond Wrestling's first ever iPay-per-view for Go Fight Live. Then they also had a rematch at one of the most recent all-killer tapings, I believe back in November of 2012. And like I said, they did share a ring when TJ Marconi, against his will, was forced to team with his former partner in the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, Darius Carter, against Chris Dickinson and Eric Corvis. So certainly some unsettled, unfinished business between Marconi and Corvis. These two competitors know each other very well. Corvis has to know the strength of TJ Marconi as well as the striking ability, but even with that knowledge, unable to get out of the way of TJ Marconi as he brings the fight to Corvis. Well, Marconi looking to end things early, scooping up Eric Corvis on his shoulders for the Emerald Trojan. Corvis had it scouted, able to slip out the back door. Look at that German suplex. I'm not sure he can hit it on the larger TJ Marconi. Marconi misses wildly with an elbow, and Corvis using his opponent's momentum against him to take down the 300-pound TJ Marconi. Corvis might have strained his own back to do it, but again, knowing that Marconi had been sidelined for a number of months with a back injury, eventually having to have surgery to remove bone spurs from his spine. I'm sorry, but that is not an injury that you can ever come back from at 100%. And the love of the competition is what brought TJ Marconi back to Beyond Wrestling. But just as when Eric Corvis returned after taking so much time off, what a different Beyond Wrestling to come back to. The level of competition is better than ever. And the change in attitude that we've seen out of Eric Corvis, one of the most tenured members of the Beyond Wrestling roster, just around the time that he made his return, it was Danny Only who tried to stab him. That's how personal the issues between Danny Only and Eric Corvis had gotten at the Double Trouble live event. Since then, Danny Only has fled the United States. I'm going to wonder if he's ever going to try and make his return to Beyond Wrestling. I hope not. We certainly don't need any individuals like that clogging up the locker room. So we see some signature offense from TJ Marconi. First, the sweeping beauty punch where he had Corvis knocked out, but rather than bringing him down to the canvas, instead going for that firepower side slam, driving the point of the elbow into the sternum of Corvis. This match not even 5 minutes old. Corvis already feeling the pain. Marconi comes charging in with that big boot, hung up on that rope, trying to extricate himself, but unsuccessful in doing so. Oh, Corvis with a straight shot to the side of the head. Not before grinding that steel cable into the groin of TJ Marconi, now following him out to the floor. Burying that knee in the midsection, but the power of Marconi proving to be too much. Just driving him before shooting that double leg. What's he got in mind right here? He's going to be looking to slingshot him, perhaps face first. Oh, but Marconi got caught with that boot as Corvis put on the brakes. Did not want to get sent chest first into the apron, able to protect himself. And now it's Corvis in the driver's seat. Oh, he wouldn't dare go for the snapmare driver on the floor. If he can even get Marconi up. Ow! Oh! Corvis sent face first into the steel post. Turns around and eats a boot from TJ Marconi. Comes crashing down on that concrete. And now he's doing everything in his power to try and create some separation between himself and TJ Marconi. Marconi's got Corvis tied up with that headlock. When he controls the head, he controls the body. Just shoving him into the garage door. Not sure what he's got in mind right here. Marconi's wasting time. We see Corvis resetting the count as Marconi runs around the ring. Does Corvis have a counter? Oh, he couldn't get out of the way. It looked like Corvis was ducking underneath, was going to be trying to get underneath Marconi to perhaps send him with a back body drop, again trying to use his opponent's momentum against him. But that time it backfired, couldn't get out of the way, and when Corvis went to reset the count, you almost got to wonder if it would have been a better bet just to go in the ring. Instead, he could be out right here, sandwiched between his 300-pound opponent and the steel paneling on the garage door. Marconi struggling to get Corvis back into the ring. Now Marconi, he's got Corvis in the center of the ring, the leg is hooked. Can't beat him. Took too much time getting into that pinning predicament. And this could be a mistake right here on Marconi's part. Yeah, he already had his opponent down on the mat. I don't know why he tried to bring him back up to his feet. Corvis able to land the boot. Now he's got Marconi hooked. Oh, the diamond dust! An unusual variation of one of Corvis's signature cutters. 1, 2. Can't put Marconi away, and Marconi emphatically kicking out. Getting that right shoulder off the mat. Now it's Marconi staggering back to the corner. Corvis comes charging in. Marconi able to sidestep him. Able to hook underneath the armpit. Oh my God! Just hurling Eric Corvis, who's got to go close to 250 pounds, all the way across the ring. Marconi making sure that he's got the support of the other wrestlers here. One shot to the midsection, trying to position Corvis on that top rope. And Marconi's a big dude to be trying to climb these ropes. Once again, looking for the approval of his peers, but by doing so, he's wasting valuable time. And it looked like Corvis caught Marconi low once again. We know he's not above doing it. We saw him do it earlier in the match. Now coming in with that splash. Right into the moonsault. What a combination out of Eric Corvis. 1, 2. Still only good for a 2 count. You know, give Eric Corvis credit. This guy can take the fight to you on the ground, in the ring, or off the ropes. Certainly a hybrid wrestler if there ever was one. Well-versed in a number of different styles. Going strike for strike from Marconi, became charging in. Got caught. Oh, and Marconi taking his opponent down. Doing damage to himself. Just for the added impact to drive Corvis down with that much more force. Got the arm draped across the chest, but did not have the opportunity to hook the leg. This match will continue. Marconi, with his hand on his opponent's throat, was unable to find more offense from that position. Corvis landing a number of kicks to the back of the head. Marconi trying to get out of the ring, instead got caught with maybe one or both of the knees of Eric Corvis to the back of the head. Typically, Corvis uses the weight of his body, but that time we saw the point of the knee to the back of the head. That could have been a knockout blow. Marconi's on spaghetti legs on the floor. Corvis going for a dive. Oh, he got caught. Oh my God, his legs are caught in the second rope. Oh, for Christ's sake. Corvis just was driven a good 5 feet with not only all of his opponent's body's weight, but his body's weight, the top of his skull onto the concrete. He's caught. He's caught. Barely even stirring right here, not to mention, again, the damage that Marconi had to do to himself in order to deliver a maneuver like that. And for somebody that was on the shelf for almost a year because he had to have surgery to remove bone spurs from his back, do you think that that was the best decision? Again, I really think that goes to exemplify just how personal the issues with TJ Marconi and anybody that is associated with Chris Dickinson over the past number of months has become. If this is what TJ Marconi is willing to do to Eric Corvis, you almost wonder what he would do to Chris Dickinson. And yeah, there we see Chris Dickinson only a few feet away from him. Marconi stares him down right now. Dickinson wants nothing to do with it, ignoring him. Marconi might have been going for a chokeslam on the apron. Corvis firing a number of shots. Marconi's got tunnel vision. That could cost him. Oh, saying he made the wrong choice. And Corvis holding onto the rope. Oh, God, Corvis, how much damage would he have to do to himself to connect with a maneuver like this? A German suplex to the floor, which has been certain doom for TJ Marconi. Again, Corvis going to one of those vulnerable parts of the human body, raking the eyes. And now trying to position himself. You think he's going to go for a flipping cutter to the floor? Would he dare do it? Oh, my God, he's got him hooked up for it. That's what he's going for. Marconi holding on to the top rope. No, he's got Corvis on his shoulder. Oh, for crying out loud! An Emerald Trojan onto the apron! Corvis landing on the hardest part of the ring, nothing but steel beams and wood on the ring apron before tumbling once again to the floor. I don't know what it is about the CZW Academy, but here in the Combat Zone, we have seen some of the most physical matches in Beyond Wrestling history, this match being no exception. Marconi shooting the half nails. 1, 2, 3. Thank God it's over. There were multiple times in this contest where these competitors were risking serious injury, not only the long-term well-being of their opponents, but also for themselves. These guys threw caution to the wind, risking their own bodies to try and pick up a victory. And again, for somebody like TJ Marconi, I'm sure it must feel good that he's been able to exact a measure of revenge over Eric Corvis. But as the old saying goes, live to fight another day. And you got to think that Marconi's going to be saving himself for that inevitable confrontation with Chris Dickinson.